time. It's 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 time. I want you to look at that person right next to you, look him right in the eye and say, it's time.
It's time, Brian, for some more spring ball analysis. To recap, Colorado had 4 spring practices. They went on spring break. They came back, and they had to do 10 100-yard sprints and 6 40-yard sprints. How far through that conditioning test would you have gotten, Brian?
Not very far. Let's see, I'm not sure.
You would have been hitting the spring transfer portal?
Yeah, I would have been in the transfer portal before I even had to do that. So, yeah, I wouldn't have made it very far. But it sounds like, Tim Brewster today told us that it was okay, and the guys look like they did some work over the break, which is what they want. But I would not have made it far. How about you?
No, I ran a marathon last summer, but sprints like that's a whole different animal. I once raced Ryan Koenigsberg in a 100-yard dash, had Mike McIntyre cheering us on, and Ryan Koenigsberg smoked me in that race. So I'm definitely not talking any type of trash when it comes to sprints, but it does show you, okay, who had a little bit too much fun during spring break and kind of rein it in from there. And you got to try to regain the momentum as quickly as you can, because now 11 spring practices in 19 days.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot in a short amount of time. Coach Brewster told us, we've only talked to Coach Prime once, so we've had to kind of ask these other coaches, what Coach Prime is feeling. But he said, Coach Prime is not happy at all right now with the competition consistency, and they need to get that. And obviously, there's still a lot of time before the season. TCU is still 5-6 months away, so I don't even know how long it is, but it's a while. But you still want to get that competition consistency right now, and these next 3 weeks are huge for that.
It is interesting, the shift. Mel Tucker once called out this team for a bad practice, but was generally pretty positive about the way the team was competing out here on the practice fields. Yeah. Carl Durrell was pretty much rainbow and sunshine all the way through, even leading up to last season. Even Mike McIntyre was generally pretty positive. This is a new development covering a program where we continually hear, especially from the behind-the-scenes stuff with Coach Prime, that, the expectations are just so different now.
Yeah, the expectations are way different, and, they're not afraid to put it out there. Obviously – everybody sees the videos, and so there's not a lot that they hide, and so there's no point in hiding it when you're doing the interviews, and again, Seydou Traore, however you say it, I haven't learned how to say his name yet, was standing back in the room when Tim Brewster's talking, and he literally points to him and calls out Traore for, hey, he needs to get better, more consistent, and so he's not afraid to do that in front of the kid. I mean, he's probably heard that one-on-one, but these coaches are, hey, they're going to demand it, and you're going to hear it publicly as well.
Yeah, Coach Tim Brewster brings a lot of passion. We've seen that every time he's been in front of a camera since he got here. He was joking that he's got to Breusterize this tight ends room, a good quote there. Clearly, like you were alluded to there with addressing a player that you're talking about to the press in that fashion, again, it goes back to old school philosophies that Sal Sanzeri and Tim Brewster and Deion Sanders really exude.
Yeah, and we asked, somebody asked Seydou, what does that mean about that you're being Brewsterized? He goes, I have no idea. I have to ask him, but he coaches us really hard, and there are some old school coaches here, and for as I guess new age as Deion can be with the social media and all that stuff, his coaching philosophy is very old school, and you keep referencing Brewster, but he mentions, hey, he was coached by Mickey Andrews, one of the toughest coaches around, and so that's where Deion got it, and that's where this coaching staff got it. He's clearly putting guys around him that have the same type of philosophy.
It's interesting. We were just reminiscing about leading up to the 2016 season and Sefo Lufau and the dreaded Liz Frank foot injury. And then we heard Tim Brewster mention that that's something that Caleb Fourier is dealing with right now, which given how big this spring is for those returning guys to make a first impression, that's not, you didn't want to hear that. Right. And it's unfortunate because Caleb Fourier, in the limited amount we've seen him, can play football at this level. There's no question. But he just has not been able to stay healthy during his time here.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, when we've seen him, he's looked really good, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy. It does sound like the way Brewster talked about him, though, he's going to get his shot. I mean, he talked about him. I can't wait to see him. He said, I think he's going to be a very good football player. And obviously Brewster knows who his dad is. His dad was a great tight end, and I think they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt because they see that ability. They see that size and ability. He did say he's going to be 100%. He should be 100% by fall camp. So that's huge. So we'll see if he gets that shot there. But Fourier, you're right. I mean, he's one of those guys that you just hope. There's a lot of guys we've covered over the years that are like, man, if they could have ever stayed healthy. Yeah. He's one of those that just hasn't been able to get there. You hope that he's still young, so you hope that he can get that and harness that health, because I think he could be a very good football player.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to put him in the list of guys that could have been here yet. You said, he's got plenty of time. It's too bad, because had he come in here and been able to practice right out of high school and stay healthy at least 60% of the time since he's been here, he'd be a quality Pac-12 tight end by this point, but he just hasn't had those reps throughout the years. The kickers were perfect today, we heard, and that's why we as media got a chance to talk to all three of the kickers. Starting with Jace Felix, this is a guy that just had heart surgery a couple weeks ago, and he's standing there smiling and in good spirits in front of us. So that had to make you feel good that he was been able to get over this little hurdle pretty quickly.
Yeah, and he's full go, he said, and and looks like, I mean, he was out there 2 weeks ago. We saw in videos, so he's been out there full go, and so it's great to see that with him. And he didn't mince some words either. He didn't like ASU. He said it was unprofessional there. It's more professional here, and he's in a better spot here. And clearly there's a competition that he felt he didn't get a shot at ASU, and we'll see if he gets one here, because he's going against a guy in Alejandro Mata that Coach Prime trusted all of last year, and so we'll see. I think Feely's talented. Obviously, his dad played in the NFL for a long time. The kicker competition is interesting to me to see where it all shakes out, because I think they have some talent.
The thing I like about Jace Felix is he's an excellent, probably could have pursued golf had he really wanted to in college. That's a good demeanor in terms of the mental focus that it takes to be successful. And
probably could have played linebacker for some lower level schools as well.
Yeah. I went to Arizona State, so I'll have some fun conversations with him about his time there. We have some strong opinions about Tempe, Arizona. But Mata, he is the guy that will stand up in front of the team and say, "I don't miss." Yeah. I asked him where that confidence comes from, and he said, well, you can't play for Coach Prime and not have that confidence. I like that answer.
Yeah, and he's got it. He's a little guy. He look, when you see him, you're like, that's gonna be the kicker there. But man, he goes out there and performs. And he was almost perfect last year. Both of his misses were blocked, so not even his fault. But came from a really good high school, Beaufort High School in Georgia. So the guy's kicked under some pressure, and you're right. He's got that confidence that Coach Prime loves, and he had the success that Coach Prime loves as well.
And he said the altitude helps, which is great, because I already had the accuracy part down, is what he said, which is an amazing quote. You love a kicker that just has that confidence. And then Christian Palazzo, hopefully I pronounced his name right. He's a walk-on as well, and he's part of that mix. So cool for him to get that moment, to get recognized by Coach Prime, to have him come talk to the media.
Yeah, and that's another kid that, he started his career at Oregon, came here. He acknowledged, hey, I'm a walk-on, so I'm already behind the 8 ball between 2 scholarship kickers. It's going to be tough for a walk-on to break through, but, perhaps hey, Coach Prime said it, a few weeks ago, that some of these guys at the spring game are going to be auditioning for other teams, and so you hate to put him in that category. I'm not doing that, but for a kid like him, this spring is huge to potentially, make some noise, whether it's for this coaching staff or maybe there's an opportunity somewhere else. But it sounds like he's got that confidence and talent as well.
All right, like I said, 11 spring practices, 19 days. We're going to be at all of them, I believe, and so we better pace ourselves, but we'll be back tomorrow with more analysis.